Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator. Today we're back in the PMDG 737-800 here on the ground at Oslo. We'll be flying this 737 down to Burgas in Bulgaria. We're flying this as Norwegian or NAS 72 Golf with a flight time of around 3 hours on the dot. Cruising at 350 initially, and then we'll step climb up to 380 later in the flight. We're going to be departing off 19 right and arriving on the RNAV on 04. We're taking 12 tons of fuel, 126 passengers. And that's all the information. The routing today is going to take us south of Norway over into Swedish airspace, straight over Poland, Hungary into Romania, and then descending into Bulgaria on a RNAV 04 for landing into Burgas. So let's jump into the flight deck and get this aircraft set up. Right, so we're in the flight deck, cold and dark here at Oslo. This is the Orbex Oslo, as you can see. Looks really nice out the window. We'll have a look at the scenery closer in a second, but there's battery and ground power. And then we'll go into the IRSs and get them aligned into nav. Probe heats can come on. Get the emergency exit lights, and the seat outside can come on now as well. Initially cruising up at 350, so we get that plugged in as well. And we can clear the master caution, and we'll request our data. Departures and arrivals. The departure, the weather looks fine. Let's have a look at the en route weather. There's some thunderstorms around sort of Central Europe, as you can see there. So we're in a bit of a cloud base here, and then we're going to be missing most of the storm that's over sort of the southern UK, France, northern Spain, and this is the bit we're going to hit over sort of Hungary. It's where most of that nasty storm is. Right, so let's go into FS actions. We're going to take 12 tons of fuel, and our payload today is going to be 54.9. Lovely, we'll pop that in. That's all gone in nicely. We'll go FMC, pause in it, next page, GPS left, throw that in, and we're at Echo November Golf Mike, sorry, and we'll get that in, and we'll request the flight plan from SimBrief, and I get all the routing plugged in as well. So it just takes a couple of minutes for that to load in. And there you go, so uplink ready, we'll clear that and we'll get it loaded. And nothing's appearing yet, but in a second it should. There you go. Route's loaded in now. We'll go init reference route, and we'll go runway today will be 19 right. We'll activate that and we'll get set up on the departure. So we're going to go 19 right, and we today are going on the Oscar 6 Delta. Arrival is going to be on the RNAV 04 on the just have a look, see what's on there. SN4D, I think. Is it in there? On the charts, it's saying the SN4 Delta, and it probably be via LTOG. That's the usual arrival. Just going to check the charts to make sure it is LTOG. And it is, so we'll execute that, and that's the routing nicely there. And we'll get some fixed rings on there as well. We'll go legs, just make sure there's no discos. We'll get the yaw damper on now. I'll get some other stuff on. I've got 12 minutes because we're so far north, so the RSs do take a long time to align. I'll add some fixed rings in as well, just for some situational awareness. So runway 04/5/10, and then /115, which will be our descent point. and we'll go and get the performance in. So there, reserves of 3, cost index of 6, 350, and the cruise winds today are going to be, let me just come to my sim brief flight plan. So 236 at 41, and we'll go into the takeoff performance now, and we'll jump over to the EFB. Actually, just remember that's 80, it's not 6. So we'll jump into the EFB, go and get some takeoff performance. So we're going to be departing off 19 right. We'll import all the data. So it's giving us a flat 5 departure with a takeoff with 50 selected temperature. And the takeoff's going to be flat 5, 5.5 on the trim, 146, 143, 141. We'll get that all plugged in to the MCP panel. And we'll go and get the trim set as well, so we don't forget. There you go. That looks all good there. And I believe that's everything ready. We just need to wait for the IRSs to align. Just have a quick look at the taxi chart. So we're going to be pushing back straight, and then we'll be taxiing on Golf to November, up through November, all the way to Alpha 9. Lovely. So that's our taxiing route done. It's not too far to taxi. Right guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you and I'll jump back in when we are all aligned and ready for pushback. Right, so set the parking brake. As you can see, the tug as well is all Vex have modelled that differently to the other tugs in the sim. So I'm going to turn the packs off now. Release the parking brake. We might have to manually click the button, that's okay. So we'll click that and away we go. So what we'll do is we've got the beacon light on and the packs are off. And we'll start the engines in the sequence. Just turn down the secondary there and start engine number 2. And we'll wait for around 24% before throwing the fuel in. There's the fuel going in. Yeah, this airport's modelled really nicely. It's really good on frames as well for how big it is. First time in Norway on the sim. It'll be the first time going to Bulgaria as well. And the livery we're in today is sort of a hybrid between a Turkish airline that Norwegian bought the aircraft off, so it's quite cool. Right, so that's the cutout for engine number 2, so that's started all correctly now. And we'll give it a couple of seconds just to start engine number 1. Just get further away from the terminal building. Right, so we'll wait to throw the fuel into engine number 1 now. There you go, and the fuel can go in, and that'll be engine number 1 starting nicely now. Right, so the tug seems to have just not told us to set the parking brake and disconnected already. Yeah, he's already turned around and driving off, so that must be pushed back complete, but both engines have started nicely now. We'll clear that, so that's probably just, yeah, unable 250 knots at some point, that's fine. So we're going to the overhead panel, set the parking brake first. Left gen, right gen, taxi light, APU off, start switch is continuous, probe heats on, pack left auto, pack right auto, isolation valve auto, APU bleed off, flaps to position 5. Blank the lowered DEU, we'll wait until the flaps are fully extended before we start our hydraulic test, or our flight control check, sorry. And that's the flaps coming out. And all the flight controls are free and correct. They all seem to work fine. So, taxiing now, we're going to go right, add a bit of thrust first, we'll go right, straight, another right, and then follow it all the way down to the end of 19 right. It's going to be quite a bit of a long taxi. So what I'll do now, guys, is I'll leave you for a couple of seconds and we'll jump back into the sim when we're ready to taxi onto runway 19 right. So we are back in the flight deck, everything's ready to rock and roll. Just going to taxi onto the runway. No, not on Batsim or anything, so we'll just get everything set up and go straight onto the runway. So we'll do our little checks and stuff in a minute, get the auto throttle on and all the lights and the TCAS, and we'll do a rolling takeoff as well. Just get out of here. Scenery is beautiful there, and all the trees and stuff, and Norwegian countryside in a minute. It will look really nice when we take off. Yeah, the textures on the taxiways and runways are really nice. Well, all the buildings are done really nice. Just really good scenery this year. I don't think it's too expensive either. Right, so we'll line up, spool them up to 40%. Stable, toe gap, set takeoff thrust. Light forward pressure.
Knots.
Checked.
rotate.
Let's go flying. Slowly bring the nose up. Quite a nice rotation actually.
Positive rate of climb.
Positive rate, gear up please. And on to the flight directors. Say goodbye to Oslo. So we'll bug up now, 220 knots. And now we'll start our right turn. This SID's a bit funny, isn't it? It takes you on like a sort of circle round past the airport again. And flying still. Flaps up to 1, level change, 220 knots. Follow the flight directors. Commando. Let the autopilot deal with it now. We're all clean. Aircraft's been cleaned up. Auto brake off, landing gear off now. Standard. What we'll do is we'll go VNAV and we'll chuck it up to cruise, which is 350. Looks good all there. Brilliant. It's getting a bit cloudy now, isn't it? Lovely, so get the airplane cleaned up a bit more. We'll start that right turn now. Airplane's handling quite nicely. I love flying the 737, such an easy plane. There's the countryside down there, looks really nice. Really, really nice. There's the airport. We're flying back round closer to it in a second. There you go, we're going to start another turn. The lights can come off now. Yeah, climbing up nicely. Looks really nice. Right guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you with some climbing cruise highlights. It's not much now to do now until we start our descent. And I'll see you in about 2.5 hours when we are descending into Burgas. back to the flight deck. We're descending through 15,000 feet now. We're on the RNAV 04 for arrival into Burgas. We've been in the air for 2 hours and 44 minutes. That means we've got 15 minutes left until touchdown. We're going to go an order break of 3, flaps 30. We've got all the performance data sorted. Shouldn't be a problem. The runway's quite long here in Burgas. Set the minimums as well. Everything's nicely popped into the FMC. It's 1017 here today as I fight with the controls here. Hang on. There you go. 1017, lovely. So we've got speed breakout, 40 miles to run. Just watching the outside, but we've cleared that. We know about that already. We'll be at 220 by then anyway. The ortho is quite nice here as well. I can't remember who this scenery is by. It's really nice though, and I don't think it was like £7 British pounds in the official Microsoft Flight Simulator store, so that was nice. Let's turn speed brake now. Yeah, so it's quite nice. The news about Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, sorry, what we're talking about sceneries is they said that all the stuff's going to be downloaded to the cloud now. I don't quite know how that's going to work if you've got lower bandwidth, but apparently it's download the scenery for you when you're there or something like that, which is a bit strange. I hope there's an option to download it locally, because I do have the storage for it. I would like to keep all my stuff on my computer, but we'll see. All third-party stuff like that's outside the sim, so like aircraft that, you know, the Phoenix installed and stuff, they'll still be downloaded to your hard drive, so that's okay. Slowed down quite a bit now. I changed the cost index from 80 to 6 because it was trying to descend us quite rapidly at one point. Not too bad, about 3,500 feet per minute, which is acceptable, but I just wanted to slow it down. We're on an RNAV, so there's no rush. But we're bang on the VNAV path now, as you can see, just right hand corner for the secondary PFD. Get the lights on now as well. That looks nice, doesn't it? Yeah, as we were not descending, but about 320 miles away from top of descent, it was a horrible cloud. It was up to about 30,000 feet, right under us. But luckily it seems to have cleared off now, and all this sort of, you know, here by Burgas, by this bit of the sea here, and all down Turkey and Greece, there's no cloud. It's gone quite nice. Had a bit of speed brake now, speed's getting away from us slightly. Stir the speed brake now, that's all okay. Just try and get comfy in my chair, ready for this arrival. I'm going to take control quite early actually. The RNAV's fine, it works, I've tested it in the sim. I just like to disconnect on in the 7.3 and hand flight, it's quite nice to fly. It does feel a bit washy sometimes though, and it does feel a bit slow and sluggish, but we'll disconnect. We'll go manage speed, not manage speed, not an Airbus, we'll go speed intervene, 240, and we'll see if the aeroplane can keep up with that. And we'll get configured quite early as well. There's our right turn. That looks lovely, the countryside there, nice ortho. Go outside and have a look as well. Yeah, this livery is quite cool, it's like a mismatch of two airlines. I like them when they're a bit like this, looks used. Right, let's get some speed brake out. Start slowing down. We're flaps position 1 as well. And just in time for our left-hand turn. Stir the speed brake now. Right, the arrival, that looks okay now. The weather's calmed down a little bit. Right, now on to final approach. Just keep it 220 still for a little bit longer. We're still quite far out. Yeah, that does look nice down there, doesn't it? Well, let's slow it down now. We'll go 200 knots. It's quite a shallow descent profile now because we're at cost index 6, so speed should keep coming down nicely. What we do is we go flat 1 now, 185. And flat 5. And we'll go down to 170 knots. And we'll hold flat 5 now for a little bit. And the speed brake ready, because that speed's nicely coming down now. Double checking the final speeds there. Right, still quite far out actually. $2,500 on the rad out. Go configure now, gear down, flat 15. Cabin crew have been told to sit down. Turn all the rest of the lights on. Start switch is continuous. That looks all okay there. So 146 is our final approach speed. So I'm going to bug that and we're just going to watch the speed when it gets close to that little white bug. There, we'll go flat 30. Which we will now, and that's full flaps. Landing checklist has been completed and we are cleared to land. Looks nice out there. So, bang on glide, DNAV, sorry. QNH 1017. Gear is down, 3 green, 30 flaps set, and the auto brake has, speed brake has been armed. So, disconnect shortly and do a bit of hand flying. Still quite far out though. Line up the headings just in case of a go around. Right, let's do a bit of hand flying. So I'm going to try and concentrate here. It does feel quite washy. I don't know if that explains it enough for you guys without actually testing it for yourself. It just feels a bit sluggish. I mean, we've got a bit of a headwind, quartering headwind. Yeah, that might be why we just... It flies quite nice actually, it's just a little bit sluggish. Getting slightly low.
1,000.
Looks all okay though.
100. Minimums.
So we are getting slightly low now, so we'll try and gain a bit more, slow the descent rate down a little bit. That's looking a lot better, that picture looks better there.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Right, hold it off, hold it off. Down we are, speed brakes up, reverse green. Decelerating now, keeping the centre line quite nicely. Definitely not going to make that exit. Manual braking, reversing can come in, and we'll taxi off here nicely. So that performance calculator was bang on then. Right, we'll taxi off here and get the aeroplane cleaned up. It was quite a nice arrival actually. So clean up the flaps, get the speed brake in. APU can come on, get the lights off. Yeah, it was a nice little flight that was. Something a bit different. So the taxiing is straight down here, and we can take any stand. I'm going to take one of the ones on the right hand side in front of the main terminal, as they've got it's like a self-positioning stand. Right, so just checking on the charts. I think the stand 1-6, that looks like that'll do. So from takeoff to landing, 3 hours and 1 minute, so 1 minute behind schedule. And that was because we slowed down a bit at the end. Just wanted to make sure we're all fully configured, but basically on time. Yeah, this scenery is very nice. The texture's really nice, really good on frames. First time in Bulgaria and first time at Burgas. So we get the APU on now. So it should be on the right, not this one closer to the taxiway, the one after. I think that's 16. Like I said, look at the textures on the ground, that looks really nice actually. Just double checking, that's 1-7 there, 1-6 is the next one. Yeah, that looks fine. So I'll start making our right turn in a second. Slow it right down. The only problem with taxiing the 737, the PMDG as well, is it turns really terrible. I don't know what they've done to the taxi model, but you've got to taxi really slow to turn it round. It looks like I've done that alright. Taxi light come off. So we've lined that up quite nicely. Fill engine number 1. And I think that's good enough there. Parking brake set, engine number 2 can come off now, and seatbelt sign can be released. Anti-collision off, start switches off, APU bleed on, and get rid of the isolation valve. Hydraulics, probe heats off, all the fuel pumps apart from the forward one, and welcome down to Burgas. So guys, I'd like to thank you for watching today. I hope you enjoyed today's flight. It was a nice little flight we've never done before, 2 countries we've never done, so that was interesting. The arrival was okay, the PMDG handled it lovely as well. Nice bit of hand flying at the end there. If you guys have any flights you'd like me to do in the future, please don't hesitate to ask. There is a few new aircraft coming out soon, hopefully, so there should be more content on the channel. But I'd like to thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you all again very soon in the next video.